Diabetes drug helps people lose 16 to 23 kilograms. Stolen data of 1 billion Chinese for sale. Many major economies to face recession. Turkey's annual inflation hit 78.62%. 70% of retirees regret not starting to save earlier. Migration from Myanmar to Thailand surges. Uzbekistan declares a state of emergency. 40% of low-paid nations using D-payments.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It's Tuesday, July 5th, and here are your top stories. A new study by the Yale Center for Weight Management revealed that a weekly dose of a medication recently approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to treat type 2 diabetes may help adults without diabetes lose up to 23.6 kilograms. All in all, people without diabetes lost an average of 15% to 20.9% of their starting body weight over the course of the 72 weeks. The most common side effects reported were nausea, diarrhea, and constipation.
The study found the medication tirzepatide, which is sold under the brand name Mounjaro, was studied in people without diabetes in 3 dosages, 5, 10, and 15 milligrams. Participants with obesity or who were overweight and took the 5 milligram dose lost an average of 16 kilograms. Those on the 10 milligram dose lost an average of 22 kilograms. And participants on the 15 milligram dose lost an average of 23.6 kilograms. Almost 40% of individuals lost a quarter of their body weight with weekly injections.
According to Zhao Changpeng, founder and CEO of cryptocurrency exchange Binance, tweeted on Monday, July 4th, that the company's threat intelligence detected 1 billion resident records for sale on the dark web, which included an individual's name, address, national ID, mobile number, police and medical records from one Asian country. Bloomberg reported that on July 4th, unknown hackers claimed to have stolen the data of as many as 1 billion Chinese residents after breaching Shanghai police database.
People can come and buy crypto, hold crypto, use crypto to invest or do other things.
Bloomberg said that the person or group claiming the attack has offered to sell more than 23 terabytes of stolen data from the Shanghai police database. The unidentified hacker was asking for 10 Bitcoin, which is now valued at around $200,000. While the asked amount of money is unbelievably low, the scale of the alleged leak has sent shockwaves through the Chinese security community. Zhao Changpeng said that the breach is likely due to a bug in a government agency's Elasticsearch deployment.
According to Nomura Holdings, the Eurozone, the UK, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Canada, and the US will enter recessions over the next 12 months. In a research note, Nomura economists expected that since central banks looking to restore their inflation control credibility are enacting tightening fiscal policies, they are likely to err on the side of tightening too much, even if it sacrifices economic growth. Nomura said that there are increasing signs that the world economy is entering a synchronized growth slowdown.
The Norma research note said that high inflation is likely to persist as price pressures have spread beyond commodities to service items, rentals, and wages, and that countries can no longer rely on a rebound in exports for growth. However, a Norma economist said that the depth of the recession will vary among nations. In the U.S., Norma forecasts a shallow but long recession of 5 quarters, starting from the final quarter of this year. In Europe, the slump could be much deeper if Russia entirely cuts off gas to Europe.
According to official data released by the Turkish Statistical Institute on Monday, July 4th, Turkey's consumer prices rose by 4.95% over the month of June, which pushed annual inflation in Turkey to 78.62%, making the current rate the highest since 1998. The sharpest increases were in the transportation sector at 123.37%, followed by the price of food and non-alcoholic drinks, which rose by 93.93%. However, a group of independent economists, the Inflation Research Group, said on Monday Turkey's true level of annual inflation for June was 175.55%.
It is widely known that Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan insists that high borrowing costs cause inflation and advocates lowering interest rates to boost growth in exports. While it is a position that contradicts established economic thinking, Turkey's central bank has cut rates by 5 percentage points since September to 14%, before pausing the cuts in January. The Turkish lira has lost 44% of its value against the US dollar last year. Now, a surge in gas, oil, and grain prices has compounded the situation for import-reliant Turkey.
According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute's Retirement Readiness Survey, roughly 70% of retirees said that changing their habits to save or invest more and earlier is the top advice they would give their younger selves. The report surveyed more than 1,100 Americans aged 55 and older with at least $50,000 in financial assets in April and May of 2022. The survey found more than half of those surveyed cited inflation as the top financial worry keeping them up at night.
Recent reports have found that less than 30% of American workers are on track to retire at all, and even fewer think that they will have a comfortable retirement, and they might be right.
While the most prevalent advice was to start earlier, there were also things that the retirees felt that they did right in preparing for retirement. And roughly 40% say they ultimately wouldn't make any changes in how they prepared. About 14% said they were glad they saved, and specifically noted saving through an employer-sponsored retirement plan. In addition, 90% said the value of professional advice far outweighed its cost, and this type of advice could also help their younger selves tap into generational wealth.
A Thai-based NGO, the Foundation for Education and Development, said that nearly 20,000 migrants trying to cross the border were arrested by Thai police during the last 5 months alone, with many discovered to be in life-threatening situations. The organization said that the number of migrants crossing illegally from Myanmar to Thailand has surged in recent months as residents of regions near the border flee fighting with government troops and outbreaks of COVID-19.
Labour Minister Police General Adun Sang Singkeo has instructed the officials to perform their duties swiftly, fairly with impartiality.
Radio Free Asia reported that the Director General of the Thai Ministry of Labour and Employment said that since January, Thailand has legally brought workers from Myanmar into the country to fill labour shortages in the industrial and fishing sector. As for the illegal workers, he said, we will propose to the government that they have them registered, hopefully by late June or sometime next month. But, he said, workers coming into Thailand illegally will still be detained and repatriated.
Uzbekistan announced a month-long state of emergency in an autonomous zone of the country on Saturday, July 2nd. President Shavkat Mirziyoyev's press secretary, Shevrot Asadov, wrote on Telegram that the state of emergency in the Republic of Kyrgyzstan will run from just after midnight on Sunday to August 2nd. Uzbekistan's president had arrived in Kyrgyzstan on Saturday and promised that proposed constitutional amendments that would have weakened the territory's status would be scrapped.
The current Uzbek constitution describes this area as a sovereign republic within the country.
The media reported that the protests in Uzbekistan were prompted by planned constitutional changes that would have stripped Karakalpakstan of its autonomous status. According to a statement from the Karakalpakstan authorities, the protest started on July 1st, when demonstrators marched through Nukus and tried to take over official buildings. Police arrested the protest leaders and others who offered active resistance. The media said that 18 people were killed and 243 were wounded during the unrest.
According to the 2021 Global FUNDAY database, the COVID-19 pandemic has spurred financial inclusion, driving a large increase in digital payments amid the global expansion of formal financial services. This expansion created new economic opportunities, narrowing the gender gap in account ownership, and built resilience at the household level to better manage financial shocks. The Global FUNDAY database is produced by the World Bank every 3 years in collaboration with Gallup, Inc.
Makes it easier to invest in health and education or in a business.
After surveying how people in 123 economies used financial services throughout 2021, the database showed that in low and middle income economies, over 40% of adults who made merchant in-store or online payments using a card, phone, or the internet did so for the first time since the start of the pandemic. The same was true for more than a third of adults in all low and middle-income economies who paid a utility bill directly from a formal account.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. Let's make every day a fun day. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.